Welcome, everyone. How are we doing? How are we all? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first Pomlow Medal live. I'm your host, PommyInOz. How are we all? See you all here. We've got beautiful Sean says, Langy Jamie. So how are we all? Wow, how you doing? How are you? How are you all? Kate, got everyone here. How are we all? Hope we're all doing really well. Thank you very much, sirs. I'm sure you are in your finest attire too. But we are here today to look at some of the greatest moments in AFL. Cardi, Damien, Michael, Mitchie, how are you all? What we're doing tonight is we're going to go across 3, 2, 1 votes for every single game for this season. And we're going to crown our best and fairest. But the Pomlow isn't about numbers. It isn't about stats. It's about storylines. It's about moments. It's about vibes. Players who lit up the weekends and made us love the great game we call our own Australian rules football. Along the way, we're going to hand out some very special awards. We've got some absolute doozies. We've got the Bebe of the Year award. We've got Mr. Underrated. We've got the Ned Kelly award for Steal of the Season. There'll be a Vibosaurus Rex. Jake's mum's Pom's day tonight. Quality. And we've got the Doctor of Pomonomics award. And we've even got the James Blunt award for Goodbye My Lover as well. We've got a lot of rewards. A lot of prizes. So tell you what, chat, grab yourself a drink, settle in, because we're about to relive the season. So chat, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to rumble? Let's get into it. We're not going to mess about like the AFL do. So here we are. We are going to go in batches of 5. We're going to go 6 the first time, though, because the AFL made a made-up round. So this is going to be the opening round and then the first 5 legit rounds of 2025. We started with Chaos Cyclone Alfred, didn't we? Postponing games before the season even begun. And it was records galore. Hawthorn upset Sydney at the G. Collingwood got a dismantling as well. But round 1 alone had over 430,000 people involved in it. There was early weeks in the opening rounds. Carlton lost to Richmond. Carlton lost to Hawthorn. Collingwood before steadying with a big win against the Eagles. GWS showed intent. They beat the Collingwood Pies, Melbourne and St Kilda. The first month gave us storylines galore. North Melbourne grabbed the big scalp of Melbourne. Gold Coast beat Eagles 87 at the Optus, and Geelong dominated against Fremantle. So with that in mind, let's have a look who won. So here we are, round 0. Hawthorn versus Sydney. 1 vote, Jai Newcomb. 2 votes, Carl Amon. And 3 votes, William Day. 104.52 Collingwood. Round 0. 1 vote, Lockie Ash. 2 votes, Josh Kelly. 3 votes, Finn Callahan. Then we go over to round 1. And round 1, starting off, my Blue Boys with a beautiful 69 points losing to Richmond. 1 vote, Toby Nankervis. 2 votes, Tim Taranto. 3 votes, Jack Ross. Then we head on over. Hawthorn beating Essendon. 1 vote, Carl Amon. 2 votes, Jai Caldwell. 3, Dylan Moore. Evening double doing, just perfect timing. Perfect timing. Geelong versus Fremantle. 1 vote, Caleb Sarong. 2 votes, Maximus Holmes. 3, Bailey Smith. Then we go on. Sydney Lions. 1 vote, Isaac Heaney. 2 votes, Zach Bailey. 3 votes, Josh Dunkley. Then we head on over. Dogs, North, 1 vote. Aaron Norton, 2 votes. Bailey Dale, 3. Ed Richards. Collingwood versus Port, 1 vote. Dan Houston, 2 votes. Nick Dacos, 3. Steel Sidebottom. Coming up to St Kilda, Adelaide, 1 vote. Darcy Fogarty, 2 votes. Saligo, 3. Jay Dawson. Hey, Jamie, good call. Double dummy, good call. Hey, Sandra, how are you, my lovely? Well, we'll find out soon. 1 vote. Finn Callahan, 2 votes. Toby Green, and 3. Tom Green. And then we are Eagles versus Suns. 1 vote. Tuck Miller. Matt Rowell, 2 votes. 3 votes. Noah Anderson. And that concludes round 1. And then we head on into round 2. Hey, Caden Cardman, thank you, mate. Then we've got Carlton versus Hawthorn. 1 vote. George Hewitt. 2 votes. William Day. 3. Jai Newcomb. Then the Pies beat the Pesky Dogs. 1 vote. Liberatore. 2 votes. Steel Sidebottom. 3 votes. Nicholas Dacos. You know what, actually, chat? Look. Full suit. Even dress shoes. Hey, there's no Terry shit here. I do it properly, chat. I do it properly. I don't lie to you. Essendon, Adelaide, 1 vote. Zach Merritt. 2 votes. Ben Keys. 3 votes. Jordan Dawson. Then we head on over to the mighty Port Adelaide defeating Richmond. 1 vote. Kane Farrell. 2 votes. Jace Burgoyne. 3 votes. Connor, Rosie. G'day, Teresa. How are you? St Kilda, Geelong. 1 vote. Marcus Windhager. 2 votes. Jack McRae. 3 votes. Jack Sinclair. Then we head on over to Brisbane versus the Dogs. 1 vote. The Scottish Handbag. 2 votes. Josh Dunkley. 3 votes. Mr. Lockie Neal. One of the favourites for this award. North Melbourne versus Melbourne. Harry Sheasel, 1 vote. 2 votes, Cam Zerha. 3, Tristan Zeri. And here we are, concluding round 2. Fremantle, Sydney. 1 vote, Sarong. 2 votes, James Jordan. 3, Chad Warner. And then we head on over to round 3. And this was a thriller, this one. Essendon getting a win against Port. 1 vote. The Archer, Xavier Dersma. 2 votes, Zach Merritt. 3 votes, Sam Durham. And then we head on over to the next game. Doggies versus, I can't remember, but Tom Liberatore got 3 votes. I made the mistake at that bottom there. Tell you what, that slips through editing. Melbourne versus Gold Coast. Gold Coast winning this one. Matt Rowell, 1 vote. 2 votes, 2 Camilla. 3 votes, Noah Anderson. Heading on over to St Kilda, Richmond. Nasir Wanganeen Malera, 1 vote. Jack Sinclair, 2. 3 votes, Jack McRae. Up next, we've got Hawthorn GWS. 1 vote, Tom Green. 2 votes, Jai Newcomb. 3, Will Day. Up next, Brisbane Geelong. 1 vote, Will Ashcroft. 2 votes, Max Holmes. 3, the Scottish Handbag, Hugh McCluggage. Adelaide North. 1 vote, Rankine. 2 votes, Rory Laird. 3, Jake Saligo. And then we head on over to the West Derby. Eagles losing to North. 1 vote, Nathan O'Driscoll. 2, Andrew Brayshaw. 3 votes, Caleb Sarong. Round 4. This was a belter. Carlton losing to the Pies. Schultz, 1 vote. Josh Dacos, 2 votes. 3 votes, Nicholas Dacos. We have got some special awards. Every 5 rounds, there will be a break of some fun. So we'll fly through 5 rounds and then you'll see the next award. Geelong versus Melbourne. 1 vote, Connor Sullivan. 2 votes, Bailey Smith. 3, Patrick Dangerfield. Up next, Gold Coast versus the Crows. 1 vote, Isaac Rankine. The vote, our one, yes, we do get an ongoing top 5 as well. Don't worry, you watch. We're nearly there. Riley Thilthorpe, 2 votes. Jordan Dawson, 3 votes. Hey, Teresa, you'll love the new ones we've got there. They're quite fun. 1 vote, Will Ashcroft. 2, Lockie Neal. 3, Hugh McCluggage. Then we go over to the Doggies, who were beaten by Sydney. 1 vote, Brodie Grundy. 2, Riley Bice. 3, Will Haywood. Then we go to the mighty GWS. 1 vote, Toby Green. 2, Tom Green. 3, Jesse Hogan. Why are you watching this with no sound? Do I bore you that much? Then we've got Port Adelaide Bias. Then we've got Port versus Saints. 1 vote, Jack McRae. Nasir Wanganeen with 2 votes. 3 votes, Jason Horn Francis. Hey, Double, I'm trying to beat them, mate. I'm trying to go nice. He says, spot on. Well, I want to have fun as well. Brisbane versus the Dogs. 1 vote, Sam Darcy. 2 votes, Andrew Brayshaw. 3, Caleb Sarong. Round 5. So there you are. That completes it. Before we go on to round 5, the first award we have, right? The first award we have is something very, very beautiful, right? And we have what is called the Bebe Award. The Bebe Award. Now, every season, there is a fresh crop of talent where one bloke, though, comes into the system and shows he is worthy of being in the AFL. It's awarded to the rookie who made the biggest impact in their debut season. The young gun who didn't just play the AFL, he looked like he belonged from day one. Now, the criteria for this award was consistency across the season, impact in the big moments, and obviously rising star vibes. Cheers, WWE. I didn't want to make this like an 8-hour long, right? Young Ashcroft, well, let's see, right? Let's see. The winner of the inaugural Bebe Award is Murphy Reid, Fremantle Dockers Football Club. An absolute sensational year from Murphy Reid. One of my draft favourites this year. He has been an absolute vibe. An absolute vibe. He has played 23 games, kicked a goal a game, 2 tackles, 14 touches. I knew Mitch would be unlucky, would hate it. Do you know what I mean? He's the number 1 junior kicking goals, first for score involvement. A phenomenal year from young Murphy. And wears a headband. Spot on. Spot on. You can't fall off with that. A very worthy winner. And then we'll finish off round 5's votes. And then we'll get to we'll get to the quarter way reward. So Adelaide Geelong, 1 vote, Tom Atkins. 2 votes, Danger. 3, Basilenko. Then we've got Pies Sydney, right? 1 vote, Isaac Heaney. 2, Nick Dacos. 3, Steele Sidebottom. Seeing a bit of wing bias here, Mitch. Chills, much love, mate. North Melbourne, Gold Coast. Took Miller, 1 vote. Noah Anderson, 2. 3, Matthew Rowell. Carlton versus Eagles, 1 vote. George Hewitt. 2 votes, Patrick Cripps. 3, Samuel Walsh. West Coast versus Brisbane. 1 vote, Zach Bailey. 2 votes, Lockie Neal. 3, Hugh McCluggage. I tried Shiny Boots, and when I was doing it, I kept getting copyright struck, so there you are. I ran out of time, so I did try. We do, yeah. Every 5 rounds, we'll do a recap. So don't worry. Pomlow Medal, round 5. Essendon, 1 vote. Jai Menzies. He's got a nickname, Double Dummy. Nick Martin, 2 votes. 3 votes, Zach Merritt. Then Richmond, Fremantle, 1 vote. Shy Bolton, 2 votes. Josh Tracy, 3 Brayshaw. All right. Then the score's wrong there. It's flipped. St Kilda, GWS, 1 vote. Nasir, 2 votes. Thomas Green, 3 votes. Toby Green. Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn, 1 vote. Jack Gunston, 2 votes. Zachary Butters, 3 Connor Rosie. So at the round 5 point, we have got Nicholas Dacos on 10 votes. Hugh, the Scottish handbag, on 9 votes. Jordan Dawson on 9 votes in 3rd. Bailey Smith from Geelong in 4th. And 5th, Caleb Serong. What a start. What a start. Nicholas Dacos coming out of the blocks like a steam train, but hot on his heels. Dawson, Smith, and the Scottish handbag. And then we go on to the next portion of our show. Now we are at the middle portion, the next 5 rounds, and 6 to 10. And this is where the season really started to take shape. Don't worry, if you're here for some Frankie love, he may feature a bit later on. But round 6 kicked off with a storming win at the Gabba for the Pies, snapping Brisbane's 10-game win streak, while Carlton got their first flex, beating North Melbourne by a massive margin. Adelaide ground out a scrap in horrific conditions at GWS, and Geelong edged out fierce rivals Hawthorn. Anzac Round delivered its usual drama. 92K witnessed the Pies versus Essendon, while Melbourne took care of Richmond on a cold Thursday night. Carlton shocked the world against Geelong. Many believed the Blues were back, and Gold Coast gave Sydney the reality check they needed. Big margins, though, started to come in by round 8. Bulldogs smashed Port. Adelaide dismantled Carlton. Collingwood beat Geelong. But Jack Crisp just missed the winning shot of a great game, but did beat Jim Stein's consecutive games record. Round 9 was close, though. 8 of the games finished by 15 points or less, including the great game Essendon versus Sydney. Adelaide snuck a showdown win. North drew some heat with Brisbane in Hobart and shocked the world with a draw. And round 10, the first week of the Doug Nicholls round, upsets flowed. Geelong belted Port in Adelaide. Fremantle thumped GWS, and West Coast shocked the world, beating St Kilda. The 5-round stretch gave us some of the more chaos and that the lads saw this year. 3-1 votes, and this game were particularly hard. So, to give you a little bit of information, what I did at the end of every round during the season, I wrote my 3-2-1 and locked it away. Never looked at it again. And then our algorithm also gave 3-2-1. So what you see is a combination, and I take precedence if someone, if there was a tie. So that's how these are judged, very fairly. So let's go on to round 6. So round 6, Collingwood versus Brisbane. 1 vote, Jamie Elliott. 2 votes, Josh Dacos. 3, Nicholas Dacos. Then we go over to North versus Carlton. Yeah, the algorithm that you see. So basically, long story short, but it's basically our version of the AFL player ratings. Ours works on just pure data for positions played against the league. I'll do an explainer one day, Double Dummy. Carlton, North. 1 vote, Zachary Williams. 2 votes, Adam Cherra. 3, Georgie Porgy. We should get Judd back, mate. Should get Judd back. He could still do a role. Up next, Essendon North. Essendon Eagles, 1 vote. Nick Martin, 2 votes. Elijah Hewitt, 3. The Big Ginger, Peter. Right. Round 6, Fremantle versus Melbourne. 1 vote. Petrarca, 2 votes. Max Gorn, 3. Keziah Pickett. This was a belting game, this one. 1 vote. Lockie Whitfield, 2. Isaac Rankine, 3. Jordan Dawson. I'm not too sure Cripps posed 3 to give it away, Teresa. We're a different, the Browner here. Pomlow's more prestigious. Richmond versus Gold Coast. This was a great game. 2 Camilla, 1 vote. 2 votes. Nick Vlastin, 3. Tim Taranto. Got Sydney, host Port. Hey, Diggy, how are you, mate? 1 vote. Isaac Heaney, 2 votes. Connor Rosie, 3. Zach Butters. Western Bulldogs hosting Saints. 1 vote. Matt Kennedy. 2 votes. Joel Frazier. 3. Marcus Bontempelli. Ignore the editing error there. Marcus Bontempelli with the 3 votes. Up next, we've got Geelong Hawks. 1 vote. Jai Newcomb. 2 votes. Bailey Smith. 3. Sean Babyface Manor. Still can't believe a 28-year-old won our Young Player of the Year. Like, tell me the AFL isn't corrupt without telling me that the AFL isn't corrupt. Melbourne Richmond, round 7. 1 vote, Jake Bowie. 2, Max Gorn. 3, Christian Petrarca. Hey, James, how you doing? Round 7, Collingwood Essendon. 1 vote, Josh Dacos. 2 votes, Nicholas Dacos. 3. Nah, look. I could go out now, James. I'm very good straw hat goose. Up next, I'm going dancing, mate. Fremantle Adelaide, 1 vote. Hayden Young, 2 votes. Caleb Sarong, 3. Andrew Brayshaw. Up next, St Kilda Brisbane. Will Ashcroft, 1 vote. 2 votes. Zach Bailey, 3 votes. Lachlan Neal. Then we've got this. For some reason, that's just hidden it for you. Luke Davis Uniacke, Zach Butters, Jason Horn-Francis. And the next one's also broken. Bailey Humphrey, Ben King, Danny Rioli. Up next, Carlton versus Geelong. 1 vote, Nick Haynes. 2 votes, Patrick Cripps. 3, Samuel Walsh. Hey, Mitch, get me on. I wish I was going dancing, mate. I haven't danced with my wife for years. When we got married was the last time I danced with my wife. Hawthorn Eagles. Lloyd Meek, 1 vote. 2 votes, Jack Gunston. 3, Josh Battle. That was a great game by Josh Battle, wasn't it? That was. 1 vote. Oh, wait. It's repeated, that one. Ignore it. There we are. So round 8. Essendon versus North. 1 vote, Archie Perkins. 2 votes, LDU. 3, Zach Merritt. Teresa with the $2. He's giving you Saturday. Night fever, night fever. There you are, Teresa. I didn't get a fresh trim. I just slicked my hair back. You'll see me. Mrs. Pom did. You're going to see me in a suit a lot this next fortnight because I've got so many award shows. So I've had to dig them out. Thank you very much, Mrs. Pom. You don't get this at the Brownlow. Hey, do you know what I mean? Here we are, round 8. Fremantle, St Kilda. 1 vote, Jack Steele. 2 votes, Cooper Sharman. 3, Jack McRae, Mitchie's boy. Mitchie's boy. Oh, I'll tell you what, why have I doubled up? There we are, right. So ignore that. Some of these, I forgot to hide them on my sheet. Dogs, Port. 1 vote, Ed Richards. 2 votes, Timmy English. 3, Marcus Bontempelli. Up next, Carlton versus Adelaide. 1 vote, Patrick Cripps. 2, Isaac Rankine. 3, Jordan Dawson. You know what? Because I can't see you, I can only see the comments. I totally forgot. So, T, I love you. Thank you. Collingwood, Geelong. 1 vote, Sean Manor. 2 votes, Bailey Smith. 3, Patrick Dangerfield. Dog, Eagles versus Melbourne. 1 vote, Danny Turner. Good name. 2 votes, Max Gorn. 3, Christian Petrarca. Sydney, GWS. 1 vote, Isaac Heaney. 2 votes, Thomas Green. 3, Chad Warner. Richmond, Hawthorn. 1 vote, Josh Weddle. 2 votes, Jai Newcomb. 3, Massimo Di Ambrosia. Brisbane versus Gold Coast. Tell you what, no, we don't have suspensions here, mate. We're literally, it's just best player. What you do in your own time doesn't go to our voting process. Too much time. Can you imagine it? I'd be suspending everyone. 1 vote for Lockie Neal. 2 votes, Hugh McCluggage. 3, Will Ashcroft. Round 9. This is a big one, this. Brisbane versus Gold Coast. 1 vote, Neil. 2, the Scottish Handbag. 3, Will Ashcroft. Fremantle, Collingwood. Jack Crisp. 1 vote. 2 votes, Andrew Brayshaw. 3, my favourite little small guy other than Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott. That one's for you, Teresa, because that was our bet. Do you remember? Next game, Carlton versus Saints. Nasir, 1 vote. 2 votes, Patrick Cripps. 3, George Hewitt. Tell you what, I made over 500 slides. You'll see the leaderboard in a minute after this round. Melbourne versus Hawthorn. Harvey Langford, 1 vote. 2, Jack Gunston. 3, James Warple. Essendon versus Sydney. 1 vote, Zach Reed. Nick Martin. Yes, there's over 500 slides. You have no idea how long this took to do. Like, I have spent more time on this than I did my degree. Right? And that's scary. And Andrew McGrath, 3 votes. Up next, Gold Coast versus Dogs. Tim Liberatore, 1 vote. 2 votes, Tuke Miller. 3 votes, Noah Anderson. Adelaide Port. This was a great game. Riley Thriller Thilfort, 1 vote. Zach Butters. 3, Josh Worrell. Round 9, 1 vote, Seth Campbell. 2 votes, Jacob Hopper. 3, Tim Taranto. So when you do your PGA qualifications, you do a professional study in golf and biomechanics. So that's what I did. So it's a BS, Bachelor of Science. Cool, isn't it? But it's golf studies, it's called. Stop it. Stop it. Geelong, Fremantle. 1 vote, Max Holmes. 2 votes, Tom Green. 3, Jesse Hogan. North Melbourne, Brisbane. 1 vote, Camus Rayner. Tell you what, this is hard. LDU, Tristan Jerry. You'll see the Pomlow Medal doesn't discriminate. Then, round 10, you'll get an update. Hey, professionally, yeah, mate. Professionally, I can write that, which my wife always finds funny because she says my degree's in bullshit. Jai Newcomb, 1 vote. 2 votes, Matthew Rowell. It doesn't feel, I was like that, Sean, when I was going through these. I was like, really? That long? That long? Carlton, Sydney. 1 vote, Brodie Grundy. 2, Chad Warner. 3, Isaac Heaney. Collingwood, Adelaide. 1 vote, Jeremy Howe. 2 votes, Jordan Dawson. 3, Josh Dacos. Port Adelaide versus Geelong. 1 vote, Bailey Smith. 2 votes, Ollie Dempsey. 3, Jeremy Cameron. Notice we won't call any of the players by their nicknames unless we love them. GWS Fremantle. 1 vote, Luke Jackson. 2 votes, Caleb Sarong. 3, Shea Bolton. Dawson robbed. Dogs versus Essendon. 1 vote, Ed Richards. 2, Marcus Pontepelli. 3, Bailey Dale. Richmond North. LDU. 1 vote. 2 votes, Cam Zerha. 3, Tristan Jerry. Brisbane Melbourne. 1 vote, Petrarca. 2 votes, Max Gorn. 3, Keziah Pickett. And then the shock result of the round. 1 vote, Jack Higgins. 2, Jack Graham. 3, Harley Reid. So there is your 10-round leaderboard. Jordan Dawson in to number 1 at 17. Nicholas Dacos, second with 15. Right behind him, Noah Anderson. Bailey Smith in at 4. And hot on their heels, Caleb Sarong. What an absolute start we have had to this Brownlow. But now we come up to the Mr. Underrated Award. Mr. Underrated Award. And I agree with you, Mitch. I agree with you, buddy. It was a horrible game. But not every star gets the spotlight in our game, particularly with the mainstream media. Some just go about their work week to week, making their team feel better. This is what we all want as football fans. A guy that gives more and maybe doesn't receive the love he deserves. It's for someone who's quietly dominated their year and gone under the radar. Now, I can tell you that there is a joint winners this year, but it's strong metrics to your role and impact and maybe being not recognized by your peers. And the first winner is Josh the Pom Worrell. Josh Worrell. We love Josh Worrell. And someone else that was absolutely dogged by the media yesterday, Nick Vlastin. So well done to you two beautiful human beings. You have been incredibly underrated this year, especially Vlastin, who literally was a one-man defensive band at Richmond. So well done them. Pom bias. Hey, mate, hey, tell you what, come at me with that one. But then we have round 11 to 15. Now, this had everything, this round. This was basically the season in fight. Hey, I'm so glad you've said that, Langy, because that's what everyone says when we watch these awards. That has made me so proud that my awards have got that. But round 11 to 15. So this was the second week of the Doug Nicholls round, and it gave us absolute fireworks. Geelong and Dogs went into a Wild West shootout. Essendon, they went against Richmond in front of 76,000. GWS ran over the Blues at Marvel. Adelaide and Melbourne both had some big wins. Gold Coast defeated a very, very resilient Suns and St Kilda in what was one of the smallest Marvel crowds ever. In round 12, Brisbane knocked over Essendon at the Gabba. Collingwood destroyed Hawthorn in front of 83k. And Adelaide took the piss against Sydney with a 90-point hammering, really showing the change of the guard. Fremantle got a very hard-edged win against Gold Coast, and St Kilda did the unthinkable and won versus Melbourne. Round 13 had some shocks. The Bulldogs, Adelaide beat Brisbane. Sydney rolled Richmond at the G, and Carlton, by the skin of their teeth, got back on winners' podium. Collingwood won the King's Birthday Classic, and round 14 brought more fascinating storylines. The Dogs ran over the Saints. Hawthorn took down the high-flying Crows, and GWS went to the Gabba and toppled Brisbane. Geelong belted Essendon at the G, and Fremantle outlasted North in Perth. And Carlton took care of lowriders, as they often do. By round 15, the roller coaster wasn't finished. Fremantle got a home win over Essendon. Brisbane broke their GMHBA curse for their first win since 2003. And North stunned the Blues at the MCG. Sydney steadied themselves with a win over low-flying Port. Collingwood beat Saints. And the Dogs piled on an incredible 21 goals against Richmond. Cheers, Shane. Thank you, mate. So across the 5 rounds, the ladder had tightened, the contenders had flexed, and every time you thought there was a favourite, someone changed your mind. That being said, let's do round 11 through 15. And we start with Geelong, Fremantle. 1 vote, Matt Kennedy. 2 votes, Max Holmes. 3, Jeremy Cameron. Richmond versus Essendon. 1 vote, Gus Clark. 2, Sam Durham. 3, Nicholas Martin. One vote, Houghton, Patrick Cripps. 2, Tom Green. 3, Toby Green. Hawthorne, Brisbane. 1 vote, the Scottish Handbag. 2, Lachlan Neal. 3, Callum Archie. What a hero. We should have got musical guests. Hopefully, you know what? One day when we get big enough, like hopefully we're at 15K next year, we can actually book out somewhere and do this properly. 1 vote, Tim Membry. 2 votes, Jamie Elliott. 3, Nicholas Dacos. Surgeon. Fremantle versus Port Adelaide. 1 vote, Caleb Sarong. 2, Murphy Reid. 3, Luke Jackson. You can see here as well, we don't discriminate against Ruckman here. I'm with you, Jamie. So did I. Adelaide Eagles. 1 vote, Isaac Rankine. 2 votes, Josh Rochelle. 3, Jordan Dawson. Melbourne, Sydney. 1 vote, Christian Salem. 2 votes, Max Gorn. 3, Keziah Pickett. St Kilda Gold Coast. 1 vote, Nasia Wanga. 2, Camilla. 3, Noah Anderson. Tell you what, and then round 12. This was a great game, this one to watch. Jai Caldwell, 1 vote. 2 votes, Jared Berry. 3, the Scottish Handbag's back. He's not giving up this trophy. Collingwood versus Hawthorn. 1 vote, Nicholas Dacos. 2, Jamie Elliott. 3, Steel Side Bottom. Up next, Gold Coast versus Fremantle. 1 vote, Jordan Clark. 2 votes, Noah Anderson. 3, Shai Bolton. It'd be good if Cripper won it, but unfortunately, I can spoil it for you all. He didn't. GWS Richmond. 1 vote, Lachlan Ash. 2 votes, Tim Taranto. 3, Tom Green. Adelaide versus Sydney. 1 vote, Alex Neil Bullen. 2, Josh Rochelle. 3, the best looking man in football, Benjamin Keys. Next game, 1 vote, Cal Wilkie. 2 votes, Marcus Windhager. 3, Nasia Wanganeen Malera with another 3. Geelong versus the Eagles. 1 vote, Mears. 2 votes, Cameron. 3, Basilenka. Unlucky for some, round 13. Hawthorn versus the Dogs. Chol, 1 vote. 2, Josh Weddle. 3, Jai Newcomb. Adelaide, Brisbane. 1 vote, Cam Rayner. 2, Ben Keys. 3, Jordan Dawson. Richmond versus Sydney. 1 vote, James Jordan. 2, Isaac Heaney. 3, Brody Grundy. Geelong versus Gold Coast. 1 vote, Matt Rowell. 2 votes, Stengel. 3, Max Holmes. This is a big game, this. GWS Port. 1 vote, Tom Green. 2, Zach Buzz. 3, Connor Rosie. North versus Eagles in the mid-off. Colby McKercher, 1 vote. Double dummy, it's hard. Jai Newcomb, 2 votes. Tristan Jerry, 3 votes. Carlton versus Essendon. Tom de Koning. Boo, boo. Get off the stage. 2 votes, George Hewitt. 3 votes, Samuel Walsh. Way. Melbourne versus Collingwood. 1 vote, Max Gorn. 2 votes, Scott Pendlebury. 3, Josh Dacos. Round 14. This was a belter, this one. Bad for Mitch, but it was a good game. Ed Richards, 1 vote. 2 votes, Matt Kennedy. 3, Samuel Darcy. It's just because he left. I just booed him. Do you know what I mean? 1 vote, Jordan Dawson. 2, Dylan Moore. 3, Jarman Impey. Jarman Impey getting some love here on the Pom Show. GWS Brisbane. Tom Green, 1 vote. 2 votes, Aaron Cadman. 3, Jesse Hogan. Geelong, 1 vote, Sean Manor. 2, Max Holmes. 3, Jeremy Cameron. North Melbourne Fremantle, 1 vote, Patrick Voss. 2 votes, Andrew Brayshaw. 3, Caleb Sarong. Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. 1 vote, Keziah Pickett. 2 votes, Jason Horne-Francis. 3, Mitchie G. Look at him. Key forwards getting some love on this show. They don't get love in real life. Here we are. Cowton versus Fremantle. 1 vote. Harley Reid. It was probably for you guys. AK, I love it. 2 votes. Patrick Cripps. 3. George Hewitt. Then round 15. Fremantle versus Essendon. 1 vote. Brayshaw. 2 votes. Caleb Sarong. 3. Luke Jackson. Geelong, Brisbane. Josh Dunkley. 1 vote. 2 votes. Logan Morris. 3. Cam Rayner. Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it, Mitch. I better hear that song when we play, mate. I better hear it. Here we are. Collingwood, North Melbourne. LDU, 1 vote. 2 votes. Colby McKercher. 3. Tom Powell. The scores are reversed for some reason. So ignore the scores. Well done, North. Well done, North. Hey, Damien, did you get your shirt, mate, as well? I wish I was getting drunk. Round 15. Richmond and Port Adelaide versus Sydney. Zach Butters, 1 vote. Brodie Grundy, 2. Isaac Heaney, 3. Collingwood versus Saints in the Membry Cup. Scott Pendlebury, 1 vote. 2 votes. Lipinski, 3. Nicholas Dacos. Next game, we've got GWS, Finn Callaghan. Gold Coast, Noah Anderson, 3 votes. Tom Green. Doggies versus Richmond, 1 vote. Sam Darcy, 2 votes. Ed Richards, 3. Marcus Bontempelli. Let's check round 15, the leaderboard. 5th, Caleb Sarong, 18 votes. 4th, Thomas Green, 20 votes. Noah Anderson, 21. Nick Dacos, 22. And Jordan Dawson still holds the slim lead of 24. Now we go to the Ned Kelly Award, right? So the Ned Kelly Award, what is it? Well, one of the greatest thieves of all times. And what we're doing is not looking at someone that is something different. The best person to win it, to come over to your club, who is an absolute steal. An absolute steal. Someone that's delivered a cultural lift, made immediate impact, value, and produced. Immediate impact on the field is one of them. Value compared to the trade, contract value, influence on the team. I like some of these guesses, chat. You're doing very well. You're doing very well, right? So, who was the best recruit in the Pomlow? Basalenka. Bailey Smith has been supreme this year. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what? His story about opening up about depression was one of the more beautiful things I have seen him ever do, ever speak. But this year, the number 1 disposals in the league, the number 1 inside 50s in the league, 2nd most meters gained, top 10 for score involvements, top 5 for clearances, the number 1 AFL fantasy player in the league, the number 2 AFL contested possessions, and the number 16 most effective player. Some massive highlights this season. 35 goal game, round 5 against Adelaide. He has been supreme. He's an absolute hero. And the inaugural Ned Kelly Winners Award is the great man. Oh, Says with a 5. Gifted. Much love. Much love. Make sure you give Says some love. But an absolute phenomenal year from Bailey Smith, being absolutely supreme. And it is so annoying that Geelong get players who are good. Hey, Pies Footy, how you doing, mate? Much love, and I hope you're doing well. Hey, mate, I wish I was coaching them. There wouldn't be shit if I was there. Hey, I tell you what, and Kate, that's why we do it here. Hey, hopefully one day we'll be big enough to actually have the players. How cool would that be? Bailey Smith just coming up and me asking him pointless questions he don't give a shit about. Now we go round 16 through 20. And this was a massive block of football. Port dismantled the Blues in Adelaide. Collingwood took down the West Coast comfortably in Hawthorn with a 23-goal effort in Tassie versus North. Adelaide brushed past the Richmond Tigers. Fremantle kept their fortress at home against St Kilda. In round 17, the Dogs were ruthless. mass smashing North. Collingwood smacked Carlton in front of 75k again. Gold Coast shocked everyone as they finally brought their Marvel Hoodoo by Essendon. Geelong destroyed Richmond. Brisbane gave a bloody nose to Port, and Hawthorn beat St Kilda. Sydney even managed to shock everyone and beat Fremantle. Round 18 gave us upsets galore. Gold Coast toppled Collingwood in front of 22k. Adelaide edged the Bulldogs in a Marvel shootout when they were told they couldn't defend. And GWS beat Geelong. Fremantle took care of Hawthorn in Perth, proving they are the most hardest side to pick in the league. And Melbourne repaid North's earlier season win by smashing North Melbourne. Round 19 was as tight as we've seen it in the AFL, but the Bombers let everyone down by getting battered by GWS. Brisbane had a mammoth fight with the Dogs, and Hawthorn smashed Port. Carlton steadied with a big win at the G. Fremantle shot Collingwood in front of 62k, and Adelaide crushed Gold Coast, making them look the pole position to take out the minor premiership. And round 20, it started with a shot. Gold Coast destroying their older, more experienced rivals in Brisbane. Their biggest Q Clash win ever. Adelaide destroyed Port of the showdown, winning by just under 100 points, the biggest margin in the showdown's history. Fremantle beat West Coast in a 54k event. St Kilda had arguably, though, what we're now calling the miracle at Marvel, and Nasir Wanganeen became a superstar, kicking 2 late goals and marking everything. The largest final quarter comeback in history. Records were smashed. Contenders stumbled. Finals hopes were rewritten. Now let's dive into it. Hey, how you doing, Juddy? Any content creators in here know if I can change everyone's names back to what they were, or is that just a YouTube thing? Carlton Port, 1 vote. Mitchie G, 2 votes. Miles Bergman, 3. Zach Butters. Collingwood Eagles, Lipinski, 1 vote. Nick Dacos, 2. Pendles, 3. Adelaide versus Richmond, 1 vote. Ranking, 2 votes. Danny Curtin, 3. Riley Thilthorpe. Gold Coast, 1 vote. 2 Camilla. 2 Pickett. 3 Matt Rowe. Fremantle versus St Kilda, 1 vote. Big Nass. 2 Andrew Brayshaw. 3 Jordan Clark. Doggies versus Sydney, 1 vote. Marcus Bont. 2 Isaac Heaney. 3 Joel Frazier. Hawthorn versus North, 1 vote. Carl Amon. 2 votes. Jai Newcomb. 3 Jack Gunston, still kicking. Round 17. We are at North versus the Dogs, 1 vote. Liberatore. 2 votes. Aaron Norton. 3 Marcus Bont. You can tell when it got to 3 a.m. some of these slides. You can tell when it was 3 a.m. when I was doing this. Carlton versus Collingwood, 1 vote. Darcy Moore. 2 votes. Jamie Elliott. 3 Nicholas Dacos. West Coast versus GWS. Tom Green, 1 vote. 2 Toby Green. 3 Finn Callahan. Yeah, it was hard. Oh, I'll tell you what. They are Essendon, 1 vote. Zach Merritt. 2 Camilla. 3 Mr. Anderson. Albert, mate, I was proper tired, and Mrs. Pom was like, just go to bed. Right, here we are. Geelong versus Fremantle, 1 vote. Jack Martin. 2 votes. Jeremy Cameron. 3 Max Holmes. Hey, I pulled an all-nighter for this chat. Albert's spot on. 1 vote. Lockie Neal. 2 votes. Scottish Handbag. 3 Zach Bailey. St Kilda versus Hawthorn, 1 vote. Josh Battle. 2 votes. Nasir. 3 Jai Newcomb. Jack Madden, Rob, mate. Sydney versus Fremantle. James Jordan, 1 vote. 2 votes. Errol Goulden. 3 Brody Grundy. He says that they seem to pop up a lot, you know, and it is quite hard for the data because we only use the first 3 letters. So I had to manually make sure which one they were talking about. I've actually learned their code now just by looking at the numbers of the players. Adelaide versus Melbourne. 1 vote, Jordan Dawson. 2 votes, Keziah Pickett. 3, Isaac Rankine. Round 18, Carlton versus Brisbane. 1 vote, Patrick Cripps. 2 votes, Josh Dunkley. 3, Lachlan Neal. 1 vote, Josh Dacos. 2, Noah Anderson. 3, Matt Rao. Josh is getting a lot of love there, Teresa. Dogs versus Brisbane. Great game. Probably the game of the year, this. 1 vote, Riley Thilthorpe. 2, Marcus Bontempelli. 3, Jordan Dawson. GWS versus Geelong. I love you, Teresa. 1 vote, Tom Green. 2 votes, Finn Callahan. 3, Aaron Cadman. Richmond versus Essendon. 1 vote, Archie Roberts. 2 votes, Jacob Hopper. 3, Tim Taranto. Fremantle, Hawthorn. Brayshaw, 1 vote. Hey, much love. How you doing, mate? The lunchtime catch-up. I hope you're doing well, mate. How are you doing, Scotty? Switkowski, 2 votes. Sarong, 3 votes. Melbourne versus North. 3 votes, Teresa, definitely. 1 vote, Max Gorn. 2 votes, Christian Petrarca. 3, Jake Milcham. Johnny, that is elite. St Kilda Gold Coast. Marcus Windhager, 1 vote. 2 votes, Errol Goulden. 3, Brody Grundy. 1 vote, Miles Bergman. 2 votes, Zach Butters. 3, the horny one, Jason Horn-Francis. Over to round 19. Essendon versus... He isn't yet. Well, you'll see the scoreboard after the next round. Jake Stringer, 1 vote. Finn Callahan, 2. Tom Green, 3. First time we've not had the Greens together. 1 vote, Marcus Bontempelli. 2 votes, Lockie Neal. 3, William Ashcroft. Hawthorn versus Port. 1 vote, James Warple. 2, Dylan Moore. 3, Jarman Impey. 1 vote, LDU. 2, Brody Grundy. 3, Isaac Heaney. Carlton versus Melbourne. 1 vote, Wheatering. 2 votes, Cripps. 3, Keziah Pickett. Did Jeremy Howe Paul? I think he does actually. Pie Foy. Eagles, Richmond. 1 vote, Hopper. Harley Reid. He does Paul at 1 point, I'm pretty sure. Tim Taranto. Geelong versus Saints. 1 vote, Shane Manor. 2, Maximus Holmes. 3, Nasir. He's back, baby. Round 19, Collingwood, Fremantle. 1 vote, Caleb Sarong. 2, Nicholas Dacos. 3, Patrick Voss. Adelaide, Gold Coast. 1 vote, James Peterlin. 2, John Dawson. 3, Neil Bullen. Round 20. Hey, well, we didn't do any individual position awards. We've got some funny ones, though. We've got some funny ones. Round 20, Hawthorn, Gold Coast. 1 vote, Josh Ward. 2, Dylan Moore. 3, James Sicily. 1 vote, Marcus Bontempelli. 2, Sam Darcy. 3, Aaron Norton. Hey, Sean, I didn't want you just getting me to go 1, 2, 3. I'm sure everyone can count by now if they couldn't. 1 vote, Lockie Whitfield. 2, Jake Stringer. 3, Finn Callahan. It'd be good, wouldn't it? 1 vote, Ben Ainsworth. 2, Bailey Humphrey. 3, Noah Anderson. And Eagles versus Freo. 1 vote, Luke Jackson. 2, Michael Frederick. 3, Hayden Young. North versus... Hey, Fiona, how you doing, my lovely? Myers, 1 vote. 2 votes, Bailey Smith. 3, Jeremy Cameron. Adelaide versus Port. 1 vote, Riley Thilthorpe. 2, Benjamin Keys. 3, Jake Saliga. Richmond Collingwood. 1 vote, Ned Long. 2, Will Hoskin Elliott. 3, Nicholas Dacos. Nicholas Dacos. Not yet, widescreen. No, we don't do any of that shenanigans here, mate. We try and keep this legitimate, mate. St Kilda, 3 votes. 1 vote, Max Gorn. 2, Jack Sinclair. 3, Nasir. And the round 20 scoreboard looks like this. Nick Dacos jumping into the lead with 32 votes. Jordan Dawson hot on his tail and 31. Then Noah Anderson, Tom Green within touching distance. And Caleb Sarong, the icon that is just on his tails. Now, this is our personal favourite one, right? Our personal favourite one. And that is the Vibosaurus of the year, right? The Vibosaurus Rex. So what the fuck is the Vibosaurus Rex? Sometimes life is more about being good at the game. Sometimes it's about lifting the spirits off, making you enjoy what football is right? I do, Mitch. I do. We go through it at the end, so stay tuned. But a massive, 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 massive award. So sometimes when you watch football, we get caught up in the result. And I think sometimes we forget as human beings that football is something that brings us together, that makes us smile on our face and enjoy it and really have a bit of fun. So this guy is someone I've watched this year from round 0 to round 24, and he's just made me happy that he's out there. Chaos factor, unpredictability, vibes though are the essence, crowd energy, right? So the Vibosaurus Rex, my Vibosaurus Rex, the original Archie Roberts, Essendon Football Club, an absolute hero, a young man who was coming to an absolute rubbish side, no offense, and worked his tush off under duress, playing every game this season, 23 games this season. The number 1 junior footballer of Rising Stars for touches per game, the most efficient player, the most intercepts per game, the most running bounces, total disposals, rebound 50s, absolutely strong, and ranking amongst the top 15 players in the league for uncontested possessions and score involvements from the back half of the ground. A staggering season for a gentleman so young, under 20, right? 29 touches in the loss to Gold Coast, 31 touches versus Richmond, 33 versus Geelong. What's impressive about Archie is he's been beaten and he's been smashed, but he has literally worked his ass off and he's performed better in losing sides than when they've won. Absolute hero, Archie Roberts, the inaugural Vibosaurus Rex. Very proud of him. Very, very big fan. So now we get to the final parts of the round. And what happened in round 21 to 24? We hit the home stretch. The last month of the home and away season, round 21 opened up with the Bulldogs smashing GWS by 88. At this point, the Dogs were in the 8. You were guaranteeing them chance of top 4. Adelaide held off a resilient Hawthorn in front of 50k, and Melbourne thrashed the Eagles by 83. Gold Coast humbled Richmond, keeping them just to 23 points, the lowest score the Suns have ever conceded. Brisbane beat Collingwood at their home at the G, sending a message to the competition, and Fremantle booked the trend of Perth games for the Blues, beating them. Round 22, and shocks kept happening. Hawthorn belted Collingwood by 64 points. Sydney edged Brisbane. Gold Coast destroyed Carlton, and Fremantle kept on winning, taking their winning streak to 11 games. Adelaide got it done against West Coast. The Dogs pipped Melbourne into round 23, and it was statement time. Adelaide brought their long losing streak to Collingwood in front of a record Adelaide Oval crowd, and Carlton crushed Port at the Marvel. Brisbane outclassed Fremantle away, and Hawthorn upset Melbourne, and the Dogs destroyed Eagles. Sydney fell to Geelong at home, and North smashed Richmond to get a much-needed win. Round 24 was chaos. Two teams played 2 times in this game, and round 24, it was the grand finale. Carlton opened up the week against Essendon with an absolute ball game, but I was live with the wonderful Fiona. Collingwood edged Melbourne in a classic encounter, and Port, unfortunately, tried to do everything to ruin Gold Coast doubleheader and send Hinkley off with an absolute vibe and a big win, leaving Gold Coast finals chance over to Essendon. GWS came from nowhere and sealed their finals. St Kilda also close. Fremantle upset the Dogs in Melbourne to secure their 8, and Brisbane had a handy win at the Gabba. Gold Coast then destroyed Essendon, 95-point demolition, sealing their finals spot. From record crowds to record losses, Adelaide's breakthrough win, Fremantle finally beating Carlton in Perth, and St Kilda getting so close but yet so far. The final month had everything and makes for an incredible last couple of rounds in the Pomlow voting. And we start with the game where I think at this stage of the season, all of us had probably locked this side into finals. And that was 1 vote, Matt Kennedy. 2 votes, Aaron Norton. 3, Sam Darcy. Adelaide Hawthorn. 1 vote, Riley Thilthorpe. 2 votes, Isaac Rankine. 3, Jordan Dawson. Melbourne versus the Eagles. 1 vote, Keziah Pickett. 2 votes, Max Gawn. 3, Beavis and Butthead, Bailey Fritsch. Gold Coast versus Richmond. 1 vote, Benjamin King. 2 votes, Matty Rowell. 3, Noah Anderson. Sydney versus Essendon. 1 vote, J Mac. 2 votes, Brodie Grundy. 3, Isaac Heaney. Collingwood versus Brisbane. Hugh McCluggage, 1 vote. 2, Lockie Neal. 3, Logan Maurice. St Kilda versus North. 1 vote, Harry Sheasel. 2, Jack Sinclair. 3, Big Nass steaming home. Geelong versus Port Adelaide. 1 vote, Basilenka. 2, Maximus Holmes. 3, Jeremy Cameron. Carlton Fremantle. 1 vote, Caleb Sarong. 2, Luke Jackson. Jordan Clark. 3 votes. Round 22, and we start with Hawthorn versus Collingwood in what was a great game. 1, Jack Gunston. 2, Lloyd Meek. 3, Jai Newcomb. Geelong versus Essendon. 1 vote, Jeremy Cameron. 2, Bailey Smith. 3, Sean Manor. Richmond versus Saints. 1 vote, Hugo Garcia. 2, Jack Sinclair. 3, Nasio Wanganeen Moera. He's back in it. 1 vote, Josh Dunkley. 2, Chad Warner. 3, Isaac Heaney. Then we go Carlton versus Gold Coast. 1 vote, Francis Evans. Oh, Frankie. Super Frankie Evans. You love to see it. 2 votes, Benjamin King. 3, Matt Rowell. Look at that chat. Look, no one does that, do they? Like, we will watch the Brownlow and Frankie won't get any love. But there he is. The Pomlow Medal. We respect excellence. We respect excellence. Port versus Fremantle. See, look, key defenders, backs, mids get love in this. And rucks. Zach Butters. 3, Caleb Sarong. GWS versus North. Tom Green, 1 vote. 2 votes. Another Pom, Cal Brown. 3 votes. Toby Green. Melbourne versus the Dogs. I'm good, Luke. How are you, brother? 1 vote. Marcus Bontempelli. 2 votes. Ed Richards. 3. The Astronaut, Aaron Norton. Round 22, Eagles Adelaide. 1 vote. Riley Thilthorpe. 2. Jordan Dawson. 3. Isaac Rankine. Round 23. Essendon, St Kilda. 1 vote. Jack Skill. Oh, Langy, I did think that, to be honest. 2. Andrew McGrath. 3. Nasir Wanganeen coming back. Fremantle versus Brisbane. 1 vote. The Scottish Handbag, Hugh McCluggage. 2. Jasper Fletcher. 3. Zach Bailey. Wouldn't mind a bit of Zach Bailey. Gold Coast, GWS. 1 vote. Noah Anderson. 2. Finn Callahan. 3. Thomas Green. Carlton versus Port. 1 vote. George Hewitt. 2. Sam Walsh. 3. Harry Mackay. We tried. Here we are. Hawthorn versus Melbourne. 1 vote. Jarman Impey. 2. Dylan Moore. 3. Jack Gunston. Adelaide Pies. 1 vote. Josh Worrell. 2. Nick Dacos. 3. Jordan Dawson. Round 23. North Melbourne versus Richmond. 1 vote. Tristan Jerry. 2 votes. LDU. 3. Harry Sheasel. Round 23. Sydney versus Geelong. Shannon Neal. 1 vote. 2 votes. Basilenka. 3. The 19-year-old Sean Manor. Round 23. Bailey Dale. 2 votes. Ed Richards. 3. Marcus Bontempelli. Now we come to what we call the Doctor of Pomonomics Award. This one's close to my heart because it's got my name in it. And I know it's very AFL to try and name it after yourself if you can. So I didn't want to do that. So I cheated and I gave it a fun name, right? But this one encapsulates how I like the game to be played, right? How the game needs to be played. And it's why I love it. And it's given to a player that I think I enjoy watching more than anyone every week. And just really enjoy it. It's basically, I wish I was 17 again. I wish I was 7 again because I'd probably bounce the ball like this guy, play like this guy. So the guy that I've enjoyed watching this year, who I think has had a very tough year, I think he's had a lot of doubters. I think he's been in the papers for all the wrong reasons at the start of the year. I think he's really adapted to that. And I enjoy watching him play. The winner of the Pomonomics Award, Nicholas Dacos from the Collingwood Football Club. Phenomenal year. And you know what? I know this might be controversial because I know some of you are Carlton fans, but I don't think there's any getting away from the brilliance of Nick Dacos. I love watching him play, for better or for worse. I love how he goes about it. I love how he works. I love how he plays. Never heard of him. I knew you'd get upset, but I do genuinely enjoy watching him play. And I think how hard he's had the season. He's been copped a lot of tags. I think he's worked his way through it well. I thought that Melbourne game where he was tagged out of the game by Langdon, he did very well. But very strong performance. And do you know what I mean? It's not a charity award. But you know what? He's been brilliant this year. And genuinely, you know what? The 43-touch game against Fremantle was sensational. I think he's been real solid all year. And I think we're starting to see him take it over. So Nick Dacos, phenomenal work. I was going to give it to Laverdi, actually. I didn't. But here we are. This is another important award, right? The James Blunt Award. Goodbye. You've still got one more round, Double Dummy. This is just the intermission. And this is for a player who's been cut this season. Oh, he's hung up his boots. Someone that we just genuinely enjoy, right? And this time next year, we're probably going to name it after this, but sometimes football comes into your life and, you know, you do this, right? And what is really tough when you do this game, when you do YouTube and stuff, is sometimes like you can find yourself being part of the problem. You can find yourself being quite toxic. And in 2025, I've really tried to change my ways. And that's why I went into like a general UFL. Afrim, cheers, mate. That's why I went into a general AFL contest content, because I wanted to give love and give my love of the game back. And I've met some wonderful people in this journey. And one of them is this man here. Has become a friend of mine. And you know what? I don't often get emotional, but I can't tell you how much this man works. And, you know, how a part of me died when he was delisted. And I'll still go on and he'll still go on with his life. But what's great is I've got to make a friend who's in the industry, who genuinely I critique. So, Alex Chincotta, the James Blunt Award, goodbye. We absolutely love you, mate. We'll wear you with pride, absolute hero. And we hope this is not goodbye forever. We hope it's just goodbye for the next 6 weeks. And we hope to see you on a list somewhere else. But absolute phenomenal to get to know him. And just a great human being. And we'll miss him a lot out there. And you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to now, like, turn into, like, a fucking Frank Evans fan channel or something. We need a new fucking favourite player. It's really hard. Do you know what I mean? Everyone that we fall in love with fucking gets delisted. Can Carlton just stop delisting players I like? I mean, I can cope with Charlie, not Pom Cotter. Here we are, Carlton versus Essendon. This was hard to give 3 votes to. Patrick Cripps, 1 vote. 2 votes, George Hewitt. 3. Francis Evans! He's got 3 fucking Brownlow votes! Get in! Francis Evans! The real winner tonight! The real winner! If we did the Brownlow vote just over 2 fucking rounds, he'd have a chance. Frankie! Oh, mate, you make me happy. You make me happier than anything. Did I manipulate that? You bet the fuck I did. I don't care. I manipulated that one. I wanted Frankie to have 3. Here we go. 1 vote, Harvey Langford. 2 votes, Braden Maynard. Bruz. Scott Pendlebury. Port Adelaide. Gold Coast. 1 vote. Mitchie G. 2 votes. Connor Rosie. 3 votes. Zach Butters. Hey, Shiny Blue, much love. I hope you enjoyed it, mate. Here we are, North Adelaide. Benjamin Keys, 1 vote. 2, James Peatling. 3, LDU. Phenomenal performance that was from LDU. The media hasn't given it any love. Ridiculous. Jeremy Cameron, 1 vote. 2 votes, Max Holmes. 3, Basilenka. Eagles, Sydney, 1 vote, Thomas Papley. 2 votes, Isaac Heaney. 3, Errol Goulden. Tell you what, if Carlton somehow get Errol Goulden, which is about as likely as us getting Taylor Swift to do the halftime fucking entertainment on this show next year, right? Can you imagine if he does it? Right, but if he does, it will become Errol Pomden. How's that? Do you know what I mean? We'll just get a player that's going to be a star. Lachlan Ash, 1 vote. 2 votes, Toby Green. 3 votes, Tom Green. Doggies versus Fremantle Dockers. 1 vote, Josh Tracy. 2, Marcus Bontempelli. 3, Caleb Sarong. Brisbane versus Hawthorn. 1 vote, Cameron Rayner. 2, Josh Dunkley. 3, the Scottish handbag. He's polled pretty well. And here we are. Gold Coast. 1 vote. Cam Rayner. 2 votes. Josh Dunkley. Oh, wait, sorry. This is a different. That was the last game. The votes in that last round. Tell you what, let me bring my spreadsheet up because I've completely fucked that up. Tell you what, we did pretty well as well. We did pretty well. The last round was Noah Anderson, Matt Burrell, 1 vote, 2 votes Ben King, 3 votes Noah Anderson. There you are. There you are. There you are. So that should be what the last game reads. I'll tell you what, I can do it for you. I can do it for you lot. Here. We'll do it. We'll do a live amendment. Tell you what, this is what happens when you're doing this till like 3 in the morning. There you are. There you are. Look, there you are. I fixed it. I fixed it. Look at that. On the fly. You don't get that at AFL House. It is a weird name, isn't it, Errol? So here we are. So let's have a look. Well, that is, I can't believe over 60 people have watched this live. You guys really love it. So the next award is the Half Man, Half Mazinger Award, right? So this is for a player that's just had ridiculous moments this season. Has just been absolutely phenomenal to watch. A joy to watch. Someone that has gone above and beyond, right? Above and beyond. So before we crown... so before we crown the Pomlow, someone that just is amazing, right? His X Factor moments. Riley Thilthorpe. Adelaide Football Club, the thriller. The thriller. The thriller. Kicking arse and taking names, but I have genuinely enjoyed his moments. I think when Adelaide have been down, he's been up. I think he's been superb to watch. A big fan of his, right? A big fan. So that is like, honestly, he is brilliant though. He is brilliant. Let's be honest, right? You can't say to me he hasn't been brilliant. Look, I know you guys like to pretend, but Jeremy should have got it. Which Jeremy? Jeremy Cameron? Jeremy Cameron or Jeremy Clarkson? Which do you think? He's got, hey, look, he's good. He doesn't look like Wolverine. Well, I'll tell you what, he's been brilliant. He has been brilliant, let's be honest. All Australia. Hey, look, he's been good. I still think that that's like absolutely crazy, though, to be honest, that he was All Australian captain. I still think it's stupid, to be honest. But, I mean, that's just me. I still think that's just the stupidest thing. I'm a big fan of his, though. So, I don't think he's been that good, Cameron. I think he's been good, but I don't think he's been as hyped as people think he is, to be honest. Is that harsh? Is that harsh? Right, anyway. And then the final award before the big one. Pom's Moment of the Year. So I looked at this for the single biggest and most unforgettable moment of the year. A play that made us leap off the couch, got us really excited. So we've got a joint winner here because we couldn't separate them. We couldn't separate them. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't literally separate them. And I tried to separate them, but I just couldn't. And honestly, I think both of them, for different reasons, right? For different reasons, right? I've got to be able to do, like, you know, what Pom liked, but also what was AFL. So the first one, Frankie Evans versus Essendon, was absolutely dicks out, right? Dicks out. Was absolutely dicks out. Without a shadow of a doubt, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that. And the second one, Nasir Wanganeen Malera, the miracle at Marvel. Like, honestly, like, Frank got me excited because I'm a Carlton fan, right? But Nasir, tell you what, I got excited because I was a football fan. I was a football fan. Do you know what I mean? Absolute. That made me. That reminded me why I love this game. Nasir's fourth quarter, arguably one of the best fourth quarters I've seen. Apart from when Rob made me watch the 99 Essendon Carlton game with Cooter. But Nas, and I'm so glad, can I just say, Nas, I'm super proud of him that he stayed, because it would have been shit for football if he'd left. And I think we can all agree with that. We can all agree with that. Right. Here we go. So let's look at the final leaderboard. Hey, well done, chat. Here we are. I want to see him with a big earring as well, Jamie. In 20th, Brodie Grundy with 17 votes, right? Brodie Grundy with 17 votes. In at 18, tell you what, I've got to get my scoreboard so I can tell you before. In at 19, Finn Callahan, also on 17 votes, polled in less games. Keziah Pickett, 18th, with 18 votes. Brayshaw, 17th. Jeremy Cameron, 16th. 15th in the Pomlow Medal. Matthew Rowell. Max Holmes. Jai Newcomb. Zach Butters. And Hugh McCluggage, the Scottish handbag, in at 11th. Yeah, look, to be honest, it would have been gutting Teresa. I really hope he stays a one-club player, but I've got a bad feeling for them he leaves. But it's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. Yeah, our criteria is a little bit different, though, Scotty. We try and spread the love. So 10th. Lockie Neal, 22. 9th. Marcus Bontempelli. 8th. Isaac Heaney. 7th. Bailey Smith. 6th. Big Nasir. That's phenomenal as well, right? So to put that in perspective, right? To put that in perspective, just so you know with Nas, right? Nas after round 5 didn't poll to the back half of the year. Like, and he went cocoa bananas in the back half. So well done, Nas. Absolutely brilliant. So here we are, the top 5. The top 5. The bee's knees. The big dogs. The real super excited. I'm excited too. I'm excited. So here we are. In 5th place, Caleb Sarong. Caleb Sarong has had a little bit of an absolute gem year this year. I think an incredibly underrated year. An underrated year, playing 23 games, the number 1 centre clearance player in the league, the number 9 for generating scores inside 50, an absolute Houdini year. Houdini year. That round 19 performance against Collingwood, absolutely amazing as well. Phenomenal year for him, and I'm glad he's top 5. What a phenomenal player. Then, up next, right? Up next, in at 4. In at 4. Tom Green. Tom Green. Real strong year from Tom Green. I think he's a standout at GWS, and I think he doesn't get enough love. When the league froths young inside midfielders like Matt Rowell, I think people forget how good he has been. And you know what's been really impressive for me watching Tom Green this year is adding goals to his game. Very, very impressive young man. And he's a joy to watch. He's a joy to watch. Right, and then in at 3. In at 3. in at 3. One of the favourites to win the Brownlow in real life. He's recorded 2 plus 40 touch games this year, being one of the top score-involving sides in the league. And he was the winner of the Dr. Pomonomics Award. Nick Dacos. His back half of the year really let him down. But what an effort. 34 points, been phenomenal, right? And then we talk about, and I agree with Fiona, he is incredibly underrated, but incredibly, Gav, I'm the same. When I first remember in his draft, I was like, isn't he a fucking comedian? But this guy here, I think everyone gives way too much love to his partner in crime. But I think this gentleman here is easily, in my opinion, one of the top 3 midfielders in the competition. I think he's incredible. He doesn't get any hype, Mr. Consistency. And in a league where we froth the excellent, we don't froth the high floor player. And I can't think of a better player. And this guy came second purely because of his consistency this year. Noah Anderson, Gold Coast. Which means the winner of the Pom Trophy, the Pomlow Medal, the real medal of the AFL, the real medal of the AFL. All the others are Mickey Mouse. This is the real one. But a man that has top 4 in tackles, top 2 total inside 50s generated, goal assists, top 10. This guy is a ball magnet, doing everything, kicking a staggering 17 goals this year while controlling the midfield and leading his team to top of the ladder. The best player in the league in 2025, Jordan Dawson. Phenomenal effort from Jordan. He is the most worthy man. 39 points from Jordan Dawson. Absolutely brilliant from the Dorstog. Been so consistent this year as him. He has polled in nearly every game of Adelaide. Round 3 was one of the few games he didn't poll in this year. Absolutely sensational from the big dog. He has been brilliant all the way. He's been a joy to watch. And you know what? Some of the winners there have been so good this year. Round 10, also people asking where Jeremy Howe polled round 10. But he is so phenomenal. He is so phenomenal. Like absolute joy to watch and a pleasure to commentate and talk about every year. And chat, you know what? An hour and a half flies by. And you know what? We hit 9K this week, right? 9K. And you know what? When I first started this journey, I didn't think anyone would fucking want to watch a Pom talk footy, man. I didn't. And you know what? In this journey, we've done a lot of things, man. We've done a lot of things. You know, we got to 1,000. And you know what? I want to mean this honestly. This year has been like potentially one of the more happy mental health journeys I've ever had. This time last year, I had serious conversations about jacking it in, quitting. It was getting on top of me. I was getting upset. I was getting really too invested in it. And it wasn't serving me like it should do. And then we changed to a little bit more general content. And you know what I said to myself? I was like, I might take a knock in views, but I'm going to do general AFL content and enjoy it again and share my love of the game, right? And then I met you guys. And you know what? This year I've met some new people, right? And there's a few shout outs. Sean, Teresa, Scotty, the amazing Fiona who gave me a great pep up this week on her show. All of you, Diggy Chat, all you guys from different clubs, Mitchie, absolute legend, man. And then the Carlton guys who have stayed through and loved me through all and accepted my change. Gav, Juddy, Dee, Kate, Sarah, Sandra, You legends, Langy, man, who message me every day. Great person. Absolute. Like, honestly, and I want you guys to know, at 40 years old, life is short, and it's about the time you spend with each other and having fun with you guys on the lives, doing shit like this. Genuinely, it turns me on, man. It's been so good. It's been fun. We've had a real good community. And I always say this. I do believe this is the best community in YouTube, man. I don't believe it's not. Because you guys are just fucking amazing, man. You're all magical. Damien, $14.99. I love you, brother. Thank you very much. That shirt arrived, didn't it? Yeah? $7.99 from Scotty. I love you, bro. Maz, my darling, love you. 5 gifted. Love you all, right? Thank you very much. And honestly, it really touches me. So I want you to know that you're more than just a number to me. You guys coming out here and just chatting and stuff, sharing the love of the game. This time last year, I was a horrible, horrible content creator. I'd forgotten how I love sport, and it was becoming a chore, and I've got my love back, and I really, really enjoy it, man. And honestly, this has been a pleasure, and hopefully this time next year, we will be on 15K. We can rent out a place. We can fucking have some beers and do this properly. So loads of content coming up. This weekend, you'll have loads. Thank you very much, Dead Gen $7.99. I love you, brother. Thank you very much. This weekend, you'll have loads of coming up. We've got a Dersma video coming up, and we've got a highlight of a small forward that might change your game in the draft, and a halfback come half forward that you might trade for that could change your team. So they're your weekend's content. Make sure you come and see us on Monday. Me and Fiona will be getting dressed up again for another show. It'll be the same me, different suit. Looking forward to that. Thank you very much, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe on the way out. Can't thank you enough. I'm really looking forward to the next 3 months with you guys and girls. We'll be live for all the finals. Can't wait for that. Thank you very much for a great night. Pomlow, can't wait. Enjoy.